Hello everyone and welcome back to my The Young and Restless 24 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. SHARON Newman might play the idol for missing Phyllis Summers. Is a surprise deliverance brewing that could change how Phyllis and her loved bones feel about SHARON? Phyllis shut down the idea that she could ever forgive SHARON for framing Daniel Romalotti Jr. Between SHARON jilting Heather Stevens' body in the swash and setting Daniel up in the fate, it's just too important for Phyllis to get once. Still, SHARON was on PCP at the time and obviously wasn't in her right mind. Ian, Ward and Jordan are really the bones to condemn when it comes to Heather's fate and Daniel's pain. Still, SHARON is holding out stopgap that she can ever make amends for her part in all the drama. Perhaps SHARON will have her chance now that Phyllis has suddenly gone missing. When observers last saw Phyllis, she was waking up from a romantic dream that involved visiting Billy Abbott in Paris. It's possible Phyllis is off trying to make that dream a reality, but it seems weird for her to vault out of bed for a flight and skip the breakfast she planned with her kiddies. It's Billy and Sally Spector's last night in Paris anyway, so that feels like a giant waste of time. Plus, it's not like Phyllis to go radio silent on Daniel and Summer Newman. Phyllis knows what she put her children through when she faked her demise, and more lately, Daniel and Summer had to worry due to Phyllis's auto crash. It'd make further sense for Phyllis to shoot a cryptic textbook about some special design she's working on if she was off making her usual mischief. In other words, the fact that Phyllis isn't reaching her kiddies could point to her being in real trouble. It's worth mentioning that Ian is still alive, grounded on what suckers saw in the ambulance. Indeed so, Ray Wise talked about belting his run in an interview with SOD, and admitted he still doesn't know what happened after that ambulance left. That could mean Ian isn't tied to Phyllis's exposure at all. Ian was seriously injured and would presumably be concentrated on SHARON or Mariah Copeland if he'd recovered enough to target people again. Nethermost line, our prognostications allude that Phyllis might be stuck in a parlous situation, but it seems doubtful that Ian is involved. There are plenitude of other paths to peril on a cleaner, so that's important to flash back then. SHARON and Phyllis reassessing their relationship after facing a life-hanging fire. Maybe that means SHARON will come to Phyllis's deliverance, no matter what type of mess she's gotten herself into. The verity behind Phyllis's exposure will be revealed soon, so stay tuned for updates on all the stunning news ahead. Someone wants some intel, ASAP, while two characters are shocked by an unanticipated caller, and another is rubbed the wrong way by a Bond. What's set to unravel during Thursday's show? Time to find out. In an intriguing twist, Audra Charles will press Holden Novak for intel. This is unanticipated to say the least, as Audra was literally telling Holden to stay down from her, bare days agone. The two have a once connection that the brunette doesn't want anyone in GC chancing out about. Still, it sounds like she'll push her enterprises away to gather some information from Holden. With that said, the bigger question is, will Holden reveal anything to Audra about Damian Kane? Nate Hastings and Amy Lewis get an unanticipated caller. Speaking of, Damian will shock both Nate Hastings and Amy Lewis with a visit. He was headed out of Genoa City, back to Los Angeles, but it looks like commodity will stop him from doing so. Will he reevaluate his choice regarding his mama? Can the two reconnect before she passes down? Suckers will have to tune in to find out. Incipiently, Sally Spector will be bothered by the bond that Phyllis Summers has with Billy Abbott. The two did formerly have an amorous love and have worked well together in the history. Will Sally pick up on the chemistry between Billy and Phyllis, or how sync they're at work? Either way, seeing them together will rub her the wrong way. Will Red pick up on Sally's negative energy? Is a Philly reunion on the horizon? Damian keen to blow up at Nate Hastings. Meanwhile, Holden runs into a familiar face in Genoa City. Sally Spector makes a concession. There's also Claire Grace Newman, who's fighting hard for a love that's doomed to fail. Claire to work hard to get her forefather to accept Kyle Abbott. Claire tries talking about all of Kyle's good points to a suspecting and stupefied Victor Newman. Claire indeed suggested regale with the three of them. Summer Newman ends up saving Victor on that as Claire's date gets cancelled. It seems Claire is fighting so hard for a love that might fail anyway. Speaking of Claire's doomed love, that brings us to Harrison Abbott. The reason why Claire's date gets cancelled is because Harrison begs Kyle and Summer to have a family night. Also, Harrison suggests that Skyle could partake a clinch just like on Halloween. It seems like little Harrison is trying to reunite his parents. After spending some quality time with Kyle and Harrison, Summer could decide she wants her former honey all to herself again. Speaking of Summer, she'll run into Sharon Newman. While Sharon will try to be affable, Summer gives her the cold shoulder. Sharon will also misinterpret Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson's relationship status. There's also the situation with Damien and Holden. Damien enthusiasms at Nate Hastings over scamming Amy Lewis. Still, Amy tells Damien that she's the one who looked for Nate in the first place. Latterly, Nate will continue trying to mend Damien and Amy's relationship. Still, both Lily Winters and Devin Hamilton Winters will advise Nate about his new half-family. Over with Holden, he runs into a familiar face. This sounds intriguing. Who could it be? There's also some kind of concession Sally makes. Over with Phyllis Summers, she lays down boundaries. Sharon and Nick Newman will keep reconnecting. While neither has made any real moves toward love, Victoria Newman brought up her family's support of his partner. Nick claimed they just have a long history and share children together. Still, it seems there might be further to Schick than just civil co-parenting. Over with Claire and Kyle, will there be a split? It seems that's the way the love is going, but occasionally the cleaner surprises us, so stay tuned. Victor prevaricated to Lily. He manipulated her, and he used her, and he exploited her memory of her cherished father to move her. He'd no way do either of those effects. Indeed, Nikki allowed. He was going too far. Lily was their friend. Victor said, however, you've got to break some eggs, if you want to make an omelet. When Lily set up out, she was furious. Victor let her stew for a bit. But enough is enough. Come on, Lily, you know you can't stay frenetic at me. I'm Victor. So let's let records be records. And I'll let you know what you can do for me next. Okay, Victor. Fine. So, plot twist: Audra and Holden have a past together. But they're going to keep it a secret. No bone will ever know. We have a hard time believing that. Diane has decided to redecorate the Abbott mansion. Jack doesn't like that idea. Tracy is kind of bite about it. Now that Victor has decided to go after Jabot again, will they all soon have commodity more important to worry about? Not if Diane has her way. Michael arrives at the estate to see Victor. They take a seat, and Michael believes it's good to be trusted again. Victor is on the same runner and wants to reappraisal recent history. He's still pissed Michael worked with Cole to release Jordan from the wine cellar dungeon. Michael is atomic confused as he can't imagine Victor allowed. He could keep her in a pen until she failed. Victor anticipated to do that veritably thing, but Michael notes, as his attorney, it's his responsibility to watch out for him. Victor relaxes a bit and thanks Michael for staying with him and his family whilst they were being scarified by Ian Ward. He snappily moves on to say he's ready to apply the coming phase of his plan, to go after Jack Abbott through Jabot.